Hi, guys. So I'm going to have us think about dialogue today and the way that we are formatting our dialogue and how our characters talk. So I want you guys to think of the characters and the stories that you're writing as real people. How do they talk in real life? If you were to talk to them, what would they sound like? So you have to think about a few different things. The first thing you need to think about is what is the tone of their voice? Are they loud? Are they serious? Are they both? What is their cadence? And that's kind of like the rhythm of the way they speak. So some people speak in really long, flowy sentences, and some people kind of chop up their sentences and just speak in like a few words at a time. So you could kind of think about it like they speak in long sentences and their voice inflects or raises as they go up at the end of sentences. Do they speak in slang? Do they use words that you might see in reality TV shows like Bay or Ain't? Do they have an accent? What part of the country might they be from? And that's kind of like thinking about their dialect. So in this case, maybe your character has a southern accent and they use words like y'all, which are kind of used mostly by people who are from the South. So, really kind of thinking through the protagonist of your story and what kind of person they are. So, if we think back to A Monster Calls and we think back to Connor and his dad, looking at kind of the way Connor speaks. So I'm just going to read this example out loud. Your mother is, his father said now, squinting at nothing in particular. She's a fighter, isn't she? Connor shrugged. So how are you holding up, Con? That's like the 800th time you've asked me since you got here, Connor said. Sorry, his father said. I'm fine, Connor said. Mom's on this new medicine. It'll make her better. She looks bad, but she's looked bad before. Why is everyone acting like? So if you think about the tone of voice and that type of thing, Connor is very annoyed. He's very defensive when he speaks to his dad in this example. He speaks in long sentences. His cadence is that he's got some long, flowy sentences. However, when he's defensive and he just says, I'm fine, he's kind of being short. Um, he doesn't really speak in any type of slang, but his accent is an English accent, and we can kind of tell by the way he uses the word mum, which is kind of unique to the British area. So, what I would like you guys to do is think about the way your character is speaking and kind of add on and kind of make their way of speaking a little bit more realistic. Another thing I'd like you guys to pay attention to is the fact that you should be indenting each line of dialogue. So all you have to do is put your cursor before the dialogue and hit tab, so that each time someone speaks, it will have this indent like this. And if they speak for a few sentences, like the sentences will kind of jut out like this, but you should have the quotation marks, you should have the commas, quotation marks, Connor said, his father said, um, Connor shrugged, that type of thing. So right now, what I'm seeing is some of you guys have stage directions in your writing, kind of like from the play that you wrote in the beginning of seventh grade. So you have on your paper all the way over to the left, it says Connor. It might say your character name with a colon or a dash, and it just says, I'm fine, mom's on this new medicine. It doesn't have any quotation marks around it. But you need those quotation marks. So to fix it, all you have to do is again put your cursor in front of the words, I'm fine, hit tab, and then just add in your commas, your quotation marks, Connor said, that type of thing. So I would like you guys to work through fixing that as well today. And what I want you to do once you're done is just kind of go to fill out this Google form and submit kind of an example of some work that you've done today. So again, right now you might just have Connor, I'm fine, that type of thing, as one example of dialogue. So you would submit this because this is kind of where you're starting off from. But again, by the end of class, what you would do to show that you've worked on your dialogue and that you've improved it is you would copy and paste your example In this case, we can't show that you've tabbed in, but you could say, I'm fine, Connor shrugged, on this new blah, blah, blah. And just really making sure you're using those quotation marks, the commas and quotation marks. I'm making sure it says Connor shrugged, Connor said, that type of thing, and submitting that. So today I would like you to focus on dialogue and making sure that your dialogue is formatted properly and that you really can kind of envision the way your character is talking. All right, good luck.